What's an interesting insight that you've seen, if you just want to take an example of one of the brands, of something that happens within the community inside that's just lesser known? So like if you think about HR stuff, what's happening with that HR community? How are they helping each other? That was an insight or unlock for you.
It's been really incredible to see. I think the thing that I look for when we want to launch a community, and I feel like that word can be so overused today. When we launch a community, even on the newsletter side, as we're sort of building out that audience, it's, are people self-organizing? Are people kind of reaching out on social media, or if we start like a free kind of Slack channel or something, are they saying like, hey, I'm going to be at this HR conference too. Do any of you guys want to meet up? And so once we launched the membership for I Hate It Here, and it's called Safe Space, we saw that community. The insight really is like, how much are they self-organizing? Is there this organic spark that is this real? Is this a real community or not? Or people just putting like the label community on it? Yeah. And that organic spark is what we're looking for in anything we start and any experiment we have. And it's been really wild to see. Like we have a content library feature in our membership. We built our own memberships platform. And I think it's maybe one of the best, if not the best, community platforms that exist right now. It's so cool. But we have this content library feature and a collaboration tool within that where we weren't sure how many people were going to use it, but would people start creating knowledge expert content together without our content creators, without the people who are the face of the brand, and or in collaboration with them? And the big answer is yes. And it's been really wild to see. There have been these like 100-page guides that 15 different HR leaders collaborate on to build. There have been like events where people are like, oh, I'm just going to be here. Does anyone want to have a breakfast or do yoga in New York? Yes. And so I think that stuff, it probably sounds a little bit obvious, but I think it's really cool to see people collaborate to make work content just for fun. It's a cool thing to witness.
I think it's also breaking the barrier, right? So I think just being that community or newsletter is you have one common touch point with all of these folks that would be very hard to develop outside of that. So I think that itself is a really big value add. Even if you don't facilitate as much, people who want to do it, they just need that one icebreaker connection, and they'll take it from there.
There's this that really inspired us called Doximity.
Yeah,
and
for doctors, yeah.
Yeah, well, and I guess you would know. Most people don't. 9 times out of 10, people are like, what is that? But I realized the name, somewhere was reading the name came from doctors in proximity. Because it's a big challenge for doctors. If you're like a foot and ankle specialist in Philadelphia, what was the way to go talk to someone at your level in another place easily? And so they really brought people together, and they vetted people coming onto the platform. You had to upload your credentials to get there, so you knew you were legit. And like creating that icebreaker and creating that touch point turned into a really big business. And so that for us has been something that we look at as we can do something really cool by bringing people together virtually. And then I'm really excited over time to be able to do that more and more in person as well.
There's one for nurses as well.
Oh, what's it called?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but there's one for doctors, one for nurses.
I love it.
Do you know how Doximity got doctors on the platform?
Tell me.
So they made profile pages for every doctor. Shitty profile pages. Worst picture they could scrape in accurate history, but they're just scraping. They're not putting effort into knowing which college you went to and whatever. And they'd make all these profiles, and they're ranking on SEO. I think programmatic SEO. When you would search a name, you'd see your Doximity page. Oh, this is a shitty page. And there's claim your page button right there. So that was a really, I don't know if it was the biggest reason. It was a big reason why doctors started making their Doximity profiles is, well, that's a shitty photo of me. And it's ranking top 10 in Google. I don't want that.
Yeah, I love that.
So it's an interesting customer acquisition
Definitely
that I've read
interesting.
about.
Yeah, that's a really interesting story.